Happy Tuesday, TikTok Tuesday, everybody. Welcome. If you hear music today in the background, that is my brother Ed Williams. Thank you, Ed. You can do a lot of things with shells. That's all I gotta say. And I love it because to me, nature is God's canvas. And so whenever we can use anything that has to do with nature, then it's kind of like a bonus painting, right? Plus, you don't have to buy it. God gives it to us through shells and leaves and everything else. There was one here. This is an actual leaf, and I did it with that embossing powder. That's this. But it's going in art, but I was impressed that it doesn't get brittle, that you can just set it aside and use it whenever you feel like it. So, bonus. Anyway, this was a little shell holder, ring holder that I created just for myself in my bathroom. And so today we're going to do the huge shell. And I'm going to do this because I have a shell to do for a lady, a very special lady, a friend of my sister's. And she had lost her husband. And so they had been to a place. I hope she doesn't mind me sharing her story. I won't get into detail. I don't know detail. But they had been on a vacation one time and they had a shell. So she had seen the shell I put on the Cape Charles Art page on Facebook. And it's painted on the inside an ocean. So she is commissioning me to do that. And I don't do commissions. But I will because of the love. I just appreciate that she sees something more, in her shell. And I know once I get her shell and I get to start, I will have peace. That's always the way it happens, and then I'll enjoy the process. It's just the fear of saying yes, and I've had to slap that down this whole year. So anyway, okay, so the first thing you do when you get a shell is you look at it. And a lot of times all of this will just be beat to bits, okay, because it's thin there. You don't have to worry that it's gonna break because they're very, very tough. But you do have to be concerned that if you rub it or somebody picks it up like that they could actually cut themselves. So what I like to do, and you do you, is once you clean it, and I either throw it in bleach water overnight or most generally the white vinegar and water, then set it out and dry it really good. Then use a little air thingy. You can even get the can thingies and squirt up in there and let it dry, and then knock it back out because there's lots of little dusts and sands and stuff. And after that's dry, then I look at the edge and feel with my fingers if there's any parts that is going to be owie, and also these, because they can break as well. Okay, so just sand it down a little bit, leave the breakage. I think it's beautiful. I think all of these little imperfections are perfect, but you don't want to get hurt. So sand it down, and I used those little Dremels. You can do that, but sandpaper works just as well. And this grit, I don't even know, but it's pretty heavy. I can't see anything. I don't know if you guys can or not, but anyway, it's pretty heavy. Just grab some. And what I like to do is go sideways first like this until I get all of the big parts down, and then go ahead and do it along the grain of it. And these two, just anything that's just a little bit too rough. Then, if you've got something that you can't reach, like these where they grow out of, a lot of times you can just leave it and then either fill it with a Famo wood filler, any little thing before you seal it, and paint right over it just to blend in with whatever you've done, and it'll be fine. So there's lots of ways to make it safe and pretty and everything. So once you've got that sanded, then we're going to start with some alcohol wipe. Aw, thank you, Raquel. Much love to you. Hi, sis. Cookie, #1 gifter badge. Thank you. Shannon's busy like crazy. I'm sure the kids are out of school for everybody. I'm just wiping this out. And Sherry's got, hello Gleason TV, thank you for the hearts. Sherry's got company from California. My niece and everyone's out there. I feel like, oh, I'm missing the Gab Fest. Dang it, you don't want to miss one of those. Don't you be talking about me. That's okay. Aw, she's here, Shannon, my beautiful daughter. Thanks, honey, I'll take any time you got. Alright, so I've cleaned it up. And we are ready to go. Now what I've got here is unicorn spit. It's dried. And I just leave it on my palette because all you got to do is dampen it with water and you can use it right back again. So don't throw it out when it dries out. First thing you want to do on the shell is, especially using the unicorn spit, but I would say any, because it's almost like painting on glass. If you've never painted on glass, this is a good way to find out what it's going to feel like. It's fun. It's very cool. So you can slide all over, alright? Painting on the inside of a shell. But if you don't want to, and you want your products to kind of stay where you want, then use some gesso. And it's just acrylic gesso. Any kind is fine. I like to do it, and then I'm going to end up pouring Floetrol in there anyway and have things slide around. But for the base coat and, you know, that first adhesion of the unicorn spit, I think the gesso is a good call. So, here we go. Just a little bit. Got my mama's miracle brush. And just dipped it into the gesso and start spreading it around. Gesso is going to give the material, whether it's acrylics or unicorn spit or whatever you're doing in here, it's going to give that product teeth to hang on to this shell. We need it to, right? Because you don't want to be painting and all of a sudden it peels a big chunk up. Now you got to go back trying to blend colors and such like that. No. No, no. And just anywhere you think you're going to put paint, and I'm putting it all inside, even down towards the bottom. You can see it's a very deep place to live. Oh gosh, you guys, these are so fun. Don't ever pass up an opportunity to paint on God's canvases. It's beautiful. And you know what's even more fun is when you pick it up and look at it, it's the ocean, and then you know how you listen to it. I mean, how cool is that? It actually gives you the sound right off your painting. Okay, so it has given one little coat, which you can't hardly see. It goes very sheer. If I want to cover some more of the natural look in here, I'd give it another coat and then start, but I don't want to cover that. I like seeing the grain of the seashell and everything. Okay, so now you've got your gesso. This is important, this next step, and that is to set it on a table that's flat. This one isn't exactly level, I mean. And see where it naturally sits. I want to go to right there. I want to see that view. So that is how I want to paint it, that perspective. See it when it's sitting like that. So just pick a good spot like that and then keep your focus of your art like centered in there. Of course they're going to pick it up and look at it, but still. Alright, enough yakking. I think it's dry enough. Let me start with my colors that I'm going to use. That's going to be the Blue Thunder right there. And I've got some Celine, the Artistic Vivation. Also the regular whitening of the unicorn spit. And I have them in little tiny bottles, things like this. So it's just easier. That's what I'm going to be using. And also you've got to have the Zeotil. You don't have to. I have to. I love this color. Enjoy the journey. Okay? Alright. So I have my gesso in there, and I'm going to start with some Midnight's Blackness. I know. Sounds crazy. And I'm putting it on my little palette. I've also got some Hephaestus. So I'm building my sandy rockiness right now is what I'm doing in my head. Let's see what else we want. My thought is go ahead and just do the underbelly where the waves are going to go on top of. Just do those dark color to light color type of thing, and then we'll hit the sky, and then we'll assess the situation, see where the waves are going to go and such. That's just what I'm thinking, maybe. I'm going to use that same big brush, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop some gesso. Oh, I think I've got some gesso. That is gesso, and that's the white. Sorry guys, just a little confusing. I got two white spots right here. That's gesso. That's the white unicorn spit. Let me reactivate it with some water. Okay, we'll get this off. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip into the gesso and then into a little bit of that zeoteal, and I'm going to hit it right in the middle right there. Just give my idea of a line and just look at it once and see, am I in the right spot for ocean right there? Do I want to go higher or lower? I don't know. So, I love the color. Oh gosh, that's beautiful. I think I'll just work it up a little bit higher to the top. This is hanging on. Now I'm just pushing with a kind of fluffy brush, but kind of narrow. Just pushing down, tapping into that bottom with Hephaestus. Trying to figure out, I want to rock. I'm seeing that there is a sharp bend from deep down here to where it comes up here. It's just a nice quick lift. So I'm thinking I want to use that bump as a rock, and that will help me get that dimension of, ooh, that looks like it's really sticking out. Okay. Let me get some Hephaestus involved, that gold brown. And if it turns green on this blue, that's fine. Beautiful sand color, the Midnight's Blackness with the Hephaestus, and that will have a sheen to it when it dries. Because of the Hephaestus is the metallics of the Artistic Vivations, so I'm going to add a little bit more. Try to remember, I'm talking to myself as well, to every once in a while look as far into that shell as you possibly can, because it goes way down in there. So someone's going to look, so finish it well. Alright, here we go. I'm going to grab some white and some more of that zeoteal. Still want a little bit of that gesso. Just push it right back down onto this wave, the top of it. Still have no horizon line, and that's okay with me. I'll just let it form. Let's see if I can some watery looking stuff over this. Just by sliding it through. Oh, that's pretty. Ooh, that's pretty. Little happy surprises. That's neat looking, I think. Steel blue looking inside there. Boy, I wish you could see that. There it is. Alright. So we're just laying in the background. Mercury. I think it would be pretty in a cloud. Just a touch. And I think with some purple, it would be that blue that I put. And just start tapping it around. Just start with some dark blue in a line where I think, okay, maybe the ocean's back here. I'm making everything blue just to see what it would look like. There's that. We're getting there. It's a process. It's definitely not a microwave process. Oh, I love it. Okay, it's not dry, but it's drying up a little. This is the question. Am I going to have the wave coming up and over, or is the ocean down here and I'm looking at sand and stuff there? That's what's in my head, and I can't decide. So, let me keep building on the rock idea. I'm seeing a little bit more rock. So I'm going to use that Hephaestus because it rocks. And the Purple Hill Majesty. And just see if I can make a little bit more stuff up here going on. Make it darker back here for some reason. I just love free range painting, that's what I call it. Where you can just do whatever you want. It's not drawn. You just go as far as you can. Okay, so I'm pretty darn happy with this, I have to say. About just the idea. I know it just looks like a brown spot, but I'm getting it. And I think I like the more land idea here. So it's kind of a different look. It's neat. Add a little more gold, just for fun. So, and I might not like that now that I look at it, because it looks like it's stopping this part right there. I need to get rid of that, or fade it out, or something. I just don't like the way it stopped right there, so I'm going to go ahead and put some white back in for some. I can just blend it back down. Ooh, I think I just took my gesso off. That's okay, don't panic. That same color is kind of cool. It's grayish, mud. It's like a perfect opportunity, that light blue splash. Do you see it? So I'm going to get the Floetrol. I'm going to edge around that in white, and then I'm going to get the Floetrol. So here we go. And what I mean is, if this was a sheer wave, I want that sheer color, and then I want white at the edge. Maybe not everywhere, but for right now I do. Alright, at least I know in general where I want to set this wave, right? Alright, so now I want to get a little bit of Floetrol. Shake it up. That's the Orange Label Latex Flood Floetrol. Let's put it on my palette. And that same brush, I'm just going to dip in that Floetrol. And then pull that white down, just in parts. I'm just dipping my brush at the edge of it and pulling some of it down. And that allows the white to be strongest at the edge, and then you get to see all the colors that's behind whatever wave, whatever's behind this, you get to see all that. I gotta come back up the other way, it's too low. Sorry, let me show you where we're at. Floetrol. This is usually how I do the big part over here, but it's the fun part, so I want you guys to try it with your Floetrol. Now if you want those colors to really go ahead and water them down a little bit. But I just want to be able to have a little bit control over this wave. But you can kind of get the idea of what the wave could look like, right? Rather transparent because of the Floetrol, and you get that flowy look. Just white and zeatil right there. Pull this wave a little bit. If you get a white line of unicorn spit, straight unicorn spit, and it's thick, you may have a problem with it starting to look like it cracks. So when you get your white line on your edge, what I like to do is just touch it with the little tiny brush on the edge and just pull it back down into the painting. Really nice and light, real soft. And that'll thin that edge out and you won't have any cracking to worry about. You get the idea, right? And just go ahead and paint with your Floetrol. You don't have to like dump it in and do the whole pour thing. Paint with it because it flows really nice and fun. Big, okay, here we go. From the body is where I start, and I just do that part, and then I just do that part. So it's a elongated. The line's going. It's harder for me to get the angles that I want. All right, so there's my V in the center of my elongated M. And now I'm just going to drop the other parts, the other side of the wings. And like everything else, it doesn't have to be perfect. My elongated M, right? Can you see that? And then just drop the body right there in the middle, just below where it met. Your seagull, I can't even see it. There it is. Yeah, fun. So just basically an elongated M with the dot in the middle at the bottom.
Okay, so here's where we got to today on the seashell unicorn spit painting. Oh, that was fun. And we're just getting started. Love you, bye. Thanks for hanging out with me.